Peace and blessings. I am so excited to share this reading that I did. It's very interesting. So I'm clairaudient, and oftentimes songs, especially, or quotes from movies, things that I've heard or seen, anyways, will just pop up and will not leave my brain. And oftentimes there's a reason. Sometimes I'll have had um, songs or like catchphrases from particular artists in my head where like I literally could not get it out. There was one time I kept doing that grunt that Rick Ross did, and I'm like out of nowhere, and I could not control it, and I'm like, what is going on? And I was like, something's going on. So I looked, and it was around that time that he had a heart attack. And once I found out that information, then the intuitive nudge stopped. So I've had 3 songs playing in my head over and over. Like I wake up and the first thing I hear is the song Shoulder Lean. And then there was Katy Perry's Dark Horse. I think that's a Katy Perry song. And then the other one was a song from Moana, and I don't know the name of it, but it's like when she's saying that she doesn't know how far like the sea goes. It's when she, I think, goes off to replace the heart of Tafini. Anyways, I decided to sit down with my cards because I've been doing a lot more work with angels again. And I want to talk about that, how I even started working with the angels, what brought me back to them in a deep way of the way in which I'm working with them again, and just tie it all together in a beautiful bow. But I want to share the cards that I pulled. And it's funny because they are absolutely spot on. So when I initially started hearing the Shoulder Lean song, it took me back. Ooh, it took me back to some good times. Rest in peace, Black Ties. That was one of the songs that would play in the club back in the day when I was tearing the club up. And it was just a lot of fun. And it was just a really good time for music in general. Life was good. It just took me back to a really good time. So the card that I pulled for that particular song was the 4 of Fire. And I keep seeing dragons. I saw dragons in the clouds yesterday. I've been seeing dragons. I saw a post on Threads that said, it was like a Libra thread. And it was like, as a Libra, people should be happy that we don't have dragons. And I'm like, yes, because I always like a unicorn and a dragon, and I'll be so happy. Anyway, so the card that I pulled is the 4 of Fire, and it talks about contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. This is also the 1111 card. It could be also the card of like a spirit guide. And I do feel that, but again, that 4 of Fire really encompasses that time period and the feeling that it brings up as well. So I thought that was really interesting. And I do feel it is a guide trying to get my attention because of the things that I'm working on or working towards now. And it's a reminder to have fun, that just because I am on a particular path, that don't mean I can't get my shoulder lean on. Okay. So I thought that was so funny. As soon as I seen the card, I'm like, it's just a feel good moment. It was a lot of fun. It was a celebration, good times, good people. And that's the energy that I am bringing back into my life now, just in a different way at this stage in my life. For Katy Perry's Dark Horse, I was hearing the So You Want to Play with Magic, and maybe that's not the right song, but anyways. And then it was the other one that was, I should have looked up the lyrics, but it was like, So You Want to Play with Magic, and then the Dark Horse part. And then when she's like, make me your Aphrodite. So those 3 things came up, in particular with that song. And usually, like when a song is playing over and over and over like that, I'll listen to it or like read the lyrics, but I wanted to try something a little different this time. A few months ago, like Michael Jackson songs kept playing in my head. And this was before I knew that there was going to be the Michael Jackson movie that came out. I also do channel artists, which is very interesting. And I have channeled some celebrities that pass. It's not something that I talk about a lot. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. The energy beings that come visit me. And maybe I'll share the story that of an experience that I had with one particular individual who came to me when they passed, and it it shook me, not in a bad way, but it shook me. So anyways, back to the dark horse. For that, so you want to play with magic. Guess what card came up? It's the moon. I'm using the angel tarot, which represents Archangel Hanael. He is on this card, or she is on this card. And this is all about psychic insights. Um, and the moon also is associated with the feminine, with intuition, with moon magic, with magic in general, with dark arts, if you will, like when the new moon, which we have a new moon coming up. And it's funny because so you want to play with magic. I had an idea to create a particular ritual. I don't want to share it because it is an active work. But it is something that I'm going to share with my community inside of alchemy. And so I did that today. I sat down and I blessed all of the ingredients, the tools, and all the things. And I put it together and sat there and like meditated on it. And then that song stopped playing. So I think that was a reminder that I needed to do that particular working with the new moon. And I did. And again, just confirmation. So the next song was the song from Moana. I guess I'll say it's the Moana theme song. And what I got was Archangel Chamuel with the life experience card. This would be the tower, which they call life experience. Some of the cards are renamed, so it's a more gentler approach to tarot. And so that talks about significant changes, revelations, things that lead to change, things maybe shifting, coming undone, time to move forward from something because where you are, what you are standing on is no longer solid. So it's probably good to move forward. And just like Moana, when she leaves everything behind and she goes on that journey, which was like her own like tower moment, but there were ups and downs, but she gained a lot of experience, right? And so that's what I'm seeing reflected here in this card. And I do feel that there is this decision I have to make, and I haven't decided, what am I going to do? And I think it's letting me know that I do need to move. I do need to take this opportunity. I do need to do something a little different. So I think that is helping me with that particular decision that, yeah, like it's time to come down off the tower and go venture because there's something else to see and do and experience. So I thought that that was very, very interesting. And I love how a lot of these things kind of confirmed, again, what I was already thinking, feeling, and sensing. Part of why I do things like this is because it does strengthen my intuition, because I am somewhat of a very logical person. I can be very analytical. And then just having experienced a lot of trauma sometimes and being claircognizant where like I'll have a knowing. And a lot of times I know when it is actually an intuitive hit, but sometimes it can be a little, I don't know, am I overthinking this? Is this coming from? So I do process things in that regard when I'm not clear. And so this was just like an activity to see like, okay, these songs are coming up. What is the message? And let me see if it is what I think it is. And a lot of what showed up for me in these cards is really the same thing. And I didn't even have to pull a lot of cards. And these were all jumpers. I typically, when I'm shuffling, try to take the jumpers. On the bottom of the deck was the 9 of Earth, which is all about abundance, wealth, luxury, self-love, and success. And so I think this was all just kind of as a conglomerate, letting me know that these things are going to pan out, that everything's going to work. I'm going to be, successful. It's going to be a good time. Don't really have anything to worry about. And I thought this was really fun to do because a lot of the things that I've been sharing have been about listening to our intuition, because it's something that I am actively doing and actively experiencing is these not loud, but very, very noticeable nudges from spirit that are coming to me lately. And so you may be having the same thing. And I just thought this would be a fun way to kind of share with you the process and things that I do when I am really tuning into my intuitive channels and receiving messages from spirit. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you. I'll see you next time. Peace.